Hello, adventurers. I'm here with DM Sam from Encores and Ability Scores, a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
Awesome.
it is.
S-
Hello.
Hello, hello. Well, thank you for coming on the channel. We are a Dungeons and Dragons channel, Dark Alchemy, and we met you at Long Island Tabletop.
Mhm.
We sold you some miniatures from our collection, and you just showed them to you. Have those handy?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we take a look? And who painted this Displacer Beast?
So, Christian, who is the one of our players, but also the dungeon master for a lot of the other one-offs we do, he
Okay,
painted the displacer, and then we have the
Lizard Man.
lizard man.
Awesome
Yeah.
job. I love to see some paint on him.
Yeah, he did such a good job.
But
Um,
let's not talk about him. Let's talk about
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So you have a Dungeon Dragons podcast, and your kind of tagline is, let me say, I have a banner here for it. I copied it. Encores and Ability Scores is a group of theater kids who love musicals and were sad when they were over. Decided to create a musical homebrew TTRPG world. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so we kind of infuse musicals and integrate them into the D&D world. So we'll create a homebrew setting from a musical, which the one that we just did that I DM'd is Wonderland.
Okay.
And we take the idea of being in a musical and not wanting it to end. So we kind of create a world where you can play in it and do what you want if we kind of go off the rails sometimes, but it's essentially just bringing musicals to the tabletop.
Okay. Now I did start with your current one, and that's the Alice in Wonderland adventure.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Can you tell me about how or why you chose that setting?
So I think for me, I love Alice in Wonderland, and it was gonna be my first time DMing for Encores and Ability Scores, and
Hmm.
that's the one that I am most comfortable and know the most about.
Hmm.
So I think it was more so, 1, it's chaos, and I think it's one of the best, musicals and/or stories you could kind of integrate into the D&D or, like, any type of tabletop game because it has the opportunities for chaos, for, just a lot of fun, and it's an easy one for everyone to slide right
Yeah,
through and not have
yeah.
to worry about, "Oh, did we do something or is it too close to the musical or not close enough to the musical?" Like, things like that. So I think that when that's usually what we do when we pick musicals, it's to find ones that you can live in their world without living the world of the musical, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. So I started listening to the episode where Alice kind of ends up in the world, and I guess she was in the real world, and you even had some like initial perception rolls. She had to deal with her daughter, who had some homework to do,
Yeah.
and then she's in. And I want to say I did really enjoy, and I guess these are the players, the people who play Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yes.
They were like theater level actors, like they were
I
really getting into. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, we're all of us are, like, regional theater actors in New York, but when I tell you it's Grayson played Tweedledee and Hannah played Tweedledum, and the synergy they have when they improv with each other is just
Yeah.
unlike anything
Mm.
else, and I posted a little today on our Instagram, we did a little, like, behind the scenes D and Dumb podcast, which is what they pretend they have in the
Mhm.
musical that we do. So we recorded a little bit of a fake podcast for that, and just anytime they're together, it's pure magic. So it's really great.
We have a little bit of behind the scenes that you sent me
We
here.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at this. And
understand.
this is the
Like
glory and
a
the excitement.
So this is
beaver
either
dam.
the episode coming out today or next week. It's our finale. It's them running there. It's a little. I'll give you a little behind the scenes. They're jumping down the rabbit hole. So it's all of them slow
Oh,
mo going down the rabbit
okay,
hole.
okay.
Yeah.
So, as a player and a dungeon master, how do you like the interaction with the players? I find that sometimes it's a role-playing game, and you have to give the players the opportunity to actually play it out, saying, you know, the big thing is a killing blow. It's how do you want to do this? So they get to describe it, or they succeed, but you actually say, no, how does it happen? And then it might even change the story a little bit, without a role.
Yes. Um, I think my biggest thing is that when I'm a DM and I'm watching them, and especially the cast that you just saw, like, I play with them a lot. Watching them work, I almost kind of forget that I have to be the DM and say things or do things, and I'll let them role play a lot more, and just see where it goes. I think that one of the best parts, um, is towards the end of this whole one-off is having Tweedledee and Tweedledum, they accidentally do something, and then they're
Mhm,
nonstop talking for, like, 2 minutes straight, and then they do something else, and it just I had to get them from one point to the other, so I kind of just let them do that in hopes that
mhm,
it would still guide us in the right direction, and it kind of made for a funnier time, and they actually outed where Alice was because their internal monologue was spoken out loud. So,
mhm.
it just made for a little bit more combat, a little bit more chaos, but
Okay.
thankfully, they got where they were, but I also really like when they change it up a little, especially,
Yeah.
um, in a place that is so chaotic, so it's really great.
In one of in the first episode I was listening to, um, you had one of them make a history roll
Mhm.
for Alice, and so like it's the whole Alice in Wonderland thing. Alice is coming
Right.
back. That whole other adventure happened. Queen got its head chopped off. Tweedledee Tweedledum went. This whole big thing happened, and he rolled low. And it's like, yeah, Alice, don't remember. I'm like, what? Like, really? Like he doesn't remember anything? And he was just like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I was
Yep.
like, oh my god, what a plot twist.
But isn't that perfect too for Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who are the instigators of the world and the ones that cause the most chaos in the least aggressive way, I guess you could say, and so they would be
Yeah,
like, "Oh, we don't know you, but we'll play with yeah,
yeah,
sure, you can hang out with us."
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's just it was kinda really funny because then it made a really great through line throughout of the joke with her either being named Alan or Jeremy. So, and it also, I think,
Hmm.
gave Megan, the player who played Alice, the opportunity to get a little bit angrier and frustrated because she wasn't getting where she needed to go right away. So it threw a
Hmm.
lot and as theater kids, like, having that one objective and having so many obstacles in the way lets you live more in the moment and fight
Yeah,
through to get to where you wanna be, and I think that that's something that we always crave as theater
yeah.
kids and theater people, so, like, it was really nice to watch that happen.
So, we have the role playing aspect of it, but how
Mhm.
does everybody, as a DM and as a player, how does everybody like the actual the gaming aspect of it? Do people like the combat? Do people like to roll the dice, or do they prefer the role playing? Do they like to see a new monster and try to beat it up?
Um, I think it depends. I know I love, violence, so, like, if I
You
get
choose
to
violence.
I choose violence, but I also love dice, so, like, I love rolling, and I think as a DM, I wanted and I know that my players do really love rolling. As
Yeah.
much as they love role playing, I do think they like when there's either a game or a fight, like, it keeps things interchanging and ever growing, so it's kind of nice to be throwing things at them in different ways, and I think we all agree that as much as we love role playing, we do love the action portion, and we do love rolling dice.
Cool. So let me ask you a few, just a few background questions.
Yeah.
Then that way you kind of ask everybody, DM or players.
Mhm.
So what was like kind of your first experience with Dungeons and Dragons? What got you involved in it?
Ashley Johnson. I was
Okay.
watching Blind Spot, I wanna
Hmm.
say during the pandemic.
Yeah.
My cousin always played growing up, and he's asked me to play multiple times, and I just didn't
You always heard about it? Oh, Dungeon, it
yeah,
was always in the
yeah,
background?
and I
Yeah.
was like, it's not for me, thank you, though."
Mhm.
And then watching that TV show and then being like, "Oh, what is Critical Role?" 'Cause they do a lot of little throwaway lines in Blind Spot, the TV show, about her playing Dungeons& and Dragons,
Yeah.
and then they were coming to Comic-Con, they were showing their first, animated series, so I was like, "Oh, what is this? What is it?" And it got me out of a slump acting-wise, because during the
Okay.
pandemic,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of things to do, so, finding D&D at that time, I think, was the perfect time for me, because then I got to sit and play with my fiancé and other actors who
Yeah.
we weren't acting at the time, and it's a great opportunity to role play and create
Mm.
characters and just live in make believe, and that's something that we all crave to do. So,
So as actors, it's a good workshop.
It is. It's like a free class. So,
That's nice. That's nice.
yeah.
Friends. How about favorite character that you played?
So I'm currently still playing her. It's the first character I ever made, and it wasn't
Okay.
intentional. I was gonna go with, like, an elf druid my first time, and I
Okay.
know that that's one of
Yeah.
the worst things to do as a beginner,
No,
but
whatever you want. I mean, it's fine.
yeah,
If that
but
if it,
I'm
if that speaks to you, though.
right. It's but so 2 people were already playing druid, so I was like, "Alright, let me
Oh,
see."
okay.
We don't have a healer. So I chose, a divine soul sorcerer as an
Nice. Nice.
eladrin, and I've always
Nice.
wanted to be, like, a fey wild creature, and
Yeah.
I love an elf and the fey wild, so I was like, eladrin is the perfect combination of both,
Yeah. Yeah.
and being a divine soul sorcerer, we've played this campaign for almost 3 years now, and I am 1 level away from getting wings, so I'm very
Oh,
excited.
nice. Very excited. We gotta find a good model for that with wings. We
Yes.
gotta track one down for you.
Yes, please.
So as a DM, how do you plan for the unexpected moments where, especially in a role playing group where everybody's acting, where all of a sudden you're planning this way and they're like, yeah.
I'm terrified, and I was terrified, so what I thought of was because it is Wonderland and because we were dealing with time being not, regular and the chaos of the world, I said to myself, there are 3 points that I wanna get through in this. So,
Okay,
worst case scenario, if they completely derail me and it's my first time doing this and we're doing it for the podcast, like, I don't want to fumble or stumble over my words and be out of sorts. So, I was like, "I am going to have a roll or upside down moment," and they fall into the location I want them to fall into. So, I was kind of
okay,
tweaking the
nice.
location to make sure that I
Yeah,
got them where I wanted to go.
don't be afraid to railroad them a little bit if they need to
Yeah.
fall that way. You push them down the hole. That's it.
And I think that it was a smarter thing for me to do just because it
Mm,
was my first time doing it for an audience rather than just for
mm.
my friends. So it was and we had a time limit too. We try to record these within 4 to 5 hours, and then we
Yeah.
split them up an hour a week or so. So we have a
Okay.
very short time limit for it. So I was like, I need to railroad them a little, especially my
Yeah.
first time, just so that way I feel
Yeah.
comfortable and confident going through it, but I made up a good portion when they got, captured, which is what I think just happened or is happening in today's episode, so spoiler, sorry.
Okay.
Um,
No, no.
they, get to play the flamingo golf it's not golf, it's they get to play the course on the Queen's
Cricket.
the cricket. So I kind of I got railroaded from them into that, and I was like, "How do I get them to the last part?" So I just had the one character that they've been looking for the whole time kind of pop up and make
Okay.
them go with him. So it was a really, nice way to, like, let them play a game, but then also be like, "Hey, we need to go this way now."
I like that. Well, that leads into the next question, which is kind of advice for DMs, and you're explaining just how to maneuver them to where you need them. My buddy DM Evanson.
Mhm.
Sometimes we come to a town or we go to the wrong town, and he's like, "Well, you need to go to this town, and that's just the next town. So the next town you run across is the one you need to be in,
Right.
and just rename it, and you're good to go."
Yes, and I think that that's one of the greatest cheat codes as a DM is that they may be like, I have a home game that I play with my brother and my cousin, and I put in a character to help guide them through, and they almost killed her before they even had her talking, and I was like
I'm trying to help you.
I
Stop
was like
stabbing me.
right, so I was like, there's only so much you can do because a player is going to change what you want, but if it comes to, like, a location or a play or, like, a NPC that they need to see, if you can hopefully throw them in wherever they are and kind of just redirect it without forcing it, it's a nice,
Yeah,
easy, like, "Hey, this is the next room you're going into. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, it's this
yeah,
room, it's perfect." Like, you can just
yeah,
pretend I think I did that in the beginning of the game. I rolled to see where they'd end up, but I knew where they were ending up no matter what. So I made it look like it was their choice.
yeah. Well, that's what
Mm,
the screen is for, right? I mean,
yep,
stuff happens behind the screen they don't have to know about. So as
exactly,
long as they're enjoying it and everybody's being fair and it gets their turn.
exactly.
Do you have any homebrew rules that you do, or do you pretty follow 5e,
Actually,
or do you follow 2014? Uh-oh, is this a
so we
funny
do
question?
yes, we've been doing 2014. I think we just within the last 2 changed to 2024
Mhm.
for certain things, but one of our rules that, we do a lot of, we'll put, like, our hand up or be like, "Hey, DM," like, for any questions that are above the table, but our friends that we
Mhm.
play with,
Yeah.
on our home game, they had said, "Oh, we do this fun rule," and Christian actually says it in, I think, last week's episode where he rolls the dice and it's cocked, and he says, "I'll take that cock," but you have to look at the DM and say, "Hey, DM, I'm gonna take that cock." And then it's accepted, and it's just a joke, but he never explained it, so it's just in that episode as him saying it without any context.
Nice,
So
nice.
that's the little context. That's the funny, little homebrew rule we have.
So last DM question, last player
Yeah.
question. Is there any setting you want to play in? Is there a dream setting or kind of scenario? Some people really want to do horror. So you're doing Alice. It seems like you're already very creative, but there's just something else you want to experience, or maybe that'll be a spoiler that something's coming down the road next year.
I mean, I'm really hoping that we can kind of do a game in I love the Feywild. I would love to do something
Okay.
chaotic
Yeah.
in the
A
Feywild,
nice
and I think
Feywild.
being
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland kind of helped me, like, realize that, or steampunk, like, I love a steampunk setting, and I
Yeah.
think that'd be so much fun.
A good
So,
steampunk.
kind of
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
yeah,
I like
and
that. I like
especially
that.
because I don't get to see a lot of steampunk, like, there's not a lot out there that
Hmm.
are games
Hmm.
that we can so I would love to kind of configure that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
let's take a look at your this is the podcast one. I can put this up here. So this is the Encores and Ability Scores podcast page. Now I was looking, you are on Spotify, you're on
Yeah.
Apple. Can you just kind of talk about where we can find you?
Yeah, we are on Apple, Spotify, I think, are on iHeart. There's another podcast, just generic web browser, but if you go to our now website, but it's not up there yet, but we have a website through
No,
Buzzsprout, which is our
let's
hosting, but I don't know if the
let's see.
Buzzsprout portion is on there.
Let's maybe the Buzzsprout isn't on there, but
It might
let
I
us
am in
see
the
if we
middle
could
of
find
making this
this here.
website, so
So this is the let me hit the home button and go back. Here we have this nice. Who made this artwork? This is nice.
my cousin Catherine made it. She's at Stitched_Rabbit online. She is a beautiful artist.
Okay, we'll put that. We can put that in the comments if people are
Yeah,
looking for some custom artwork. The Stitch
yeah,
Rabbit Stitch_Rabbit. So
yeah,
this website is just going up now. We can click the listen
yeah,
here button. I see you have the other links there for Instagram, YouTube. Click on that, of
yes.
course. So now we've broken this down. Meow. What's Meow about? Is that
That
from your
was our
first?
Cats, the musical.
Oh,
We did
nice. So
Cats.
It's D&D with cats.
Yeah, so essentially we did the World of Cats musical, and that was the only episode we pretty much almost had a TPK. That was the
Oh wow.
one-off where
Can you tell me
I
what
can
happened there? We always like to have a. I don't have a TPK banner, but I might have to add one.
it was
TPK.
intense. So Christian is our DM for all of the other ones except for Alice. This was my first one I got to do and hopefully not my last one. But so Christian had us going through the streets of London, going through kind of the entire setting of Cats the musical to find the big bad guy
Wow.
at the end.
Yeah.
And we were in his lair and all of a sudden he did a time stop and he for 5 rounds, and there was 4 of us, and he killed the 3 other players, and I was alive, and I tried to barter with him at the end, and thankfully it worked because I was the charismatic warlock, um,
Oh, nice.
but it
Nice.
was scary. I thought I was going to either die or be alone, and thankfully we came out of it, and then we came out of the lair only to see that time had never even begun, so it was a really
Oh,
nice little mind
I like
freak
that little twist.
situation, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
remember, as a warlock, you're never alone. You have your patron. So
exactly.
even if the rest of the party was dead, you'd be just fine.
So true.
Let's go up here to the Bloody Barber, the streets of London in circa 1785, but still D&D rules.
So, yeah, we did, I think that's our favorite. Because we started in the D&D world, like, we've kept a lot of things just in the D&D rule settings. So,
Mhm.
it'll be the setting that was a setting of, what is Johnny Depp's? It's the
Like the Pinky Blinders type of
wow.
thing, or actually
Yes,
even before that,
it's
right?
the musical, Sweeney Todd. There it is.
Oh,
So,
oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
yes.
everything. I should remember. Everything's based on a musical, right?
Yes,
Okay, I
everything is
gotcha.
based on a musical. Yeah, for
And
now.
and
I
and
mean, when we get to do, like, a steampunk thing, I'm hoping that we can have it just in a homebrew, world depending on what we
well,
wanna do with
maybe
it.
it'll become a musical.
It could be fun.
Mm, you
I like
create it.
that idea.
The Bloody Barber, and this artwork here is also, the Stitch
Yes.
underscore Rabbit?
Yeah,
Nice.
the character
Doing all the
art is
characters.
hers, and then I did a
Mhm.
little the other stuff is just, like, my little,
Yeah, no, it's absolutely
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I did not say that. Schmidt? Schmidt? Uh,
Schmicked, so it's
Schmicket.
like Wicked, but schmicked.
Oh, okay, okay, I'm a little
Yeah.
slow in the uptake there.
No,
Sapphire
listen.
City? Was there
Yeah,
an
so
Emerald
instead of
City? And but,
yeah.
there's some copyright
Mhm.
issues.
Yeah,
Sapphire
yeah,
we have to go with?
we don't want any copyright issues, so everything
Nice.
is schmicked and different letter so you'll find, like, a lot of the stuff that we like, Harvard Spellweaver it's Harvard University that
Yes.
Legally Blonde goes to, and then I named it a Legally Brunette instead of Legally Blonde.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. That looks fun too. Now, these 4, that we have up here, are these completed campaigns, basically? These podcasts are
Yeah,
complete? So
yeah,
we can
these are
so somebody could jump
full
on, listen from the beginning, and they'll have a whole story, and then they can move on to the next one until they get to
yeah,
Alice.
yeah. We are
All
on
right,
our
that's
I think our 11th our 10th or 11th, campaign.
wow, wow. So let me ask you about, let me just put this one. I'm gonna add this to the stage here. Maybe I'll try to mute it so we can just watch the video here. And I'm probably gonna end up pausing it here. Let's see. Boom, I'm gonna pause it right there because I want to take a look.
Okay.
We Dark Alchemy, we're doing the interviews, and thank you so much again for being on DM Sam.
Thank you for having me.
But we're also very interested in the sound, and we were talking to some other gentlemen, the Crit One guys.
Yeah.
We went over there. We 3D printed a nice castle wall for him. We got to meet Chris,
Oh, that's so
and he is
cool.
using. He's actually. Do I have it here? I have it here somewhere. Oh, I have it this. I have like these little ear pod things,
Oh,
and there's actually a
cool.
microphone that goes to it. So
Okay.
they're using phone USB mics, and
Yes.
then I have my microphone here. We're trying to upgrade. We just got a soundboard with 4 microphones. We had an audio engineer
Amazing.
who I'm friends with come over. But I'm always curious about for filming and for sound. Can you speak to any of the sound information here? Kind of the setup. Is it all feeding to a computer? Different microphones? Are you good at this because you're in the theater world? This is important.
So, it is very important, but I think that we've only gotten better at it. At first, we had quite a few mics that were, not directional mics, and my partner knows this better than I do, but,
Yeah.
we had mics that were not clear. And so for the first
Mhm.
few campaigns, you'll kind of hear there's we did our best with audio, but as you go and keep going, you'll hear that we got directional mics. And if you see in this video, each person has a laptop and a mic. So we don't have a soundboard yet to plug it all in to do all 4 into one.
Yeah.
So right
Mhm.
now we have everyone recording on their own devices and then we upload it and then Christian works it through he does it through Adobe and Isotope and kind of
Adobe Audition.
yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he uses Isotope which we actually got a lot of tips and tricks from the AARTPG guys that podcast and they are one of them is an audio engineer so he kind of helped us out with that. We're hoping in the next few months to get something like a soundboard that can actually attach all 4 of our mics so that way we don't have to do it from multiple
Well,
different
I'll send you a picture. What we have, we
that'd be
talked to an
great.
audio engineer. I think it's called the P8. We can do up to 8
Yeah.
microphones, and I think we caught a sale on Amazon. I have to check the price. I mean,
Oh,
it's an investment. It's a couple
it
hundred
is.
bucks.
It is, yeah.
But we have yet to. We've done the testing, but we have yet to shoot. So it's inspiring to see
It'll be
microphones
exciting too, though,
in front of
yeah.
in front of every person.
I do think
Um,
I like that better than I know that we were sharing a mic at first too, so, if it was me and Grayson, we were sharing a mic, and then Hannah and Megan were sharing a mic. So, we only had 2 for the 4 of us, and then 1 for Christian, so it was definitely more difficult. So, the fact that we
yeah.
all have our own mics is really nice.
Yeah, yeah. And your microphone sounds excellent
Thank
quality.
you.
I'm listening to. I know that was set up by your partner, and so give him a high five for me. He did an
Thank
excellent
you, thank
job. I
you.
appreciate that.
This is actually
So
our
we
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say this is our little sound booth that we made during the pandemic, so it's for voice acting and stuff. So this is his little pride and joy. There's se
Are you in a box?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't close the door, so it'll sound better now, but I am in a
Yeah.
box, yes.
Oh, it sounds good. I'm in a room, and you sound great in a box.
Thank
Maybe I
you.
should get a box. I need a
You sound great
now.
too, though, so
My wife will kill me if I build a box in here. It's bad enough I have a sheet hanging behind me,
yeah,
and
it's stressful.
it
This was our closet, and now I have clothes everywhere else, so
no closet for you,
nope,
Sam. Just throw it
nope,
on a bed and get in a box. So
yep.
you
That's
can
what
take a
chairs are for.
you can take a timeout in there too, right? Or put your partner in a
A nice
timeout.
relax yeah, and honestly, it's very soundproof, so it's relaxing, especially with the city noise. It'd be a good timeout. It'd be a nice timeout.
Okay. All right. So we have up here your link tree. I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
link tree too. We made some cards up, and we're trying to drive traffic through our link tree.
yeah,
So we have your Instagram. We have a way to reach you on email.
yeah.
We have the Apple Podcast, TikTok. You're on TikTok. You post on there.
We have 3 videos on TikTok, so we are not
Okay.
very active, but we try.
We have YouTube, Threads, and Discord.
We
I
created
feel like
Discord, but that's a baby step. That we are trying to get a bigger online community and doing all these different things, and sometimes it feels a little overwhelming trying to do it
so
all.
so as a new creator myself, I think there are almost too many places. I think you
Yeah,
have to pick one or two. And for
yeah.
us, we picked YouTube,
Okay.
and we have Linktree, but let's focus on YouTube.
Yeah.
We have an Etsy store. We just went up
Oh, amazing.
for our miniatures. We have a friend named Gil who runs the Brothers Grimm game store in Selden, and we were just
Oh,
there today
cool.
putting up models. He gave us an end cap, so we're putting up models to sell there. We're excited, but we picked D&D because we were talking about
Okay.
different games. We said we're just going to do
Yeah,
D&D, and we're going to
yeah,
be on YouTube. So let's focus there, and then we'll slowly add to other stuff. But let's get everything on YouTube. So I think the right way to
yeah,
do it is like you're doing, just on a podcast. You're
yeah.
podcasting, and then from there. But you need one spot that just it's always there and people can find you. I think.
Yeah, I think that's
Although
mostly our
I think a lot of people,
Instagram
Instagram is the way to find you. Okay,
for the
so
most part.
we have your Instagram link on here.
Mhm.
We have the podcast link.
So, yeah, when you
So
click
if we
that,
click,
it'll show you all the places that you can find us.
oh, good. I like that. So I
Yeah,
think that's probably the easiest way. So if anybody watching wants to find Encores and Ability Scores podcast, they can find them on Instagram. That's easy way. There's Linktree on
yeah.
there. You can go to Linktree and click here. You have a Patreon, I see.
Yes,
Um,
which is what we wanna do. So, in the future, because we create all these homebrew worlds in musicals, if other D&D theater nerds are interested in creating their own games, we're gonna kind of build a little one-off so people can have and use. So that's where it will happen with the Patreon.
okay, let me pull the Patreon up so people can see that. So if they find it on Patreon, it's all the Patreon links, right? You can see what I'm
Yeah.
following over here on my side, all my 3D printing stuff. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, find a Patreon, join for free. So just jump on there and
Mhm.
join. Just another way to
Yeah.
follow you. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
And let me take that down for a second. So, any parting words of wisdom, or what can we look forward to after Alice? Is there anything planned, or how long do you expect Alice to run? Is like a
Alice is
Broadway run? What's the run
the
time?
Broadway run. The runtime well, one of my favorite things is that we always put it out it's been a wonky few weeks, but we usually put it out on Mondays because the theater is
Mhm.
dark on Mondays, so it's the one night a
Okay,
week that there's no Broadway. So
I
we
did
put
not
it
know that.
out for Mondays. Yeah, that was my one of my biggest things. I was like, "I don't know what day to put it out," and then I was like, "Mondays are the theater is dark, so we're gonna do it on a Monday."
And what time on Mondays is it scheduled?
Usually at 9 AM, but we've
Okay,
had some personal things. We just got engaged and stuff, so it's been a little crazy.
congratulations.
Thank you. So it is probably gonna go out this evening. It's been hitting closer to, like, 10 PM, so Tuesday morning is a great time to catch it because 'cause it'll be out for your morning commute. But
Sounds good.
I think parting words is just to have fun no matter what game you're playing and creating, and as long as it is filling that creative part of your soul,
Mhm,
then, like, that's the best part about it, and even if you're following, like, the rules, they're also meant to be broken, especially if you're
mhm.
playing with friends, like and I think that's one of the best things that I see when I'm watching other people play is that um if there's a rule, but something is happening and it's a creative way to get out or around that rule, then let it happen, and I think that's so much fun.
Yeah, I think people forget that they're not written in stone. The game master can change the rules at any time as long as people are
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah.
Oh, any conventions coming up? With Dark Alchemy will be at CradleCon May 17th and 18th
Oh,
in
I
Garden
we were
City.
actually going to we were gonna try and, go to that. We haven't set it up yet. That was one that was on my list. Usually, we go to New York Comic Con. I am going for a work-related thing to PAX, East in a week,
Oh,
and
nice!
then we're gonna
Congratulations.
try and be venturous and go to Gen Con 'cause we've never been. So but
Hmm.
right now, definitely New York Comic Con, we will be there, and hopefully other ones, but we will keep you updated.
Sounds good. Well, keep me updated on Gen Con.
Yeah.
Me and the Dead Professional Scott will be there with
Oh,
DM
great.
Evanson, and maybe
Awesome.
we could do some shots and talk about musicals.
Yes, would love that.
Sounds good. Well, DM Sam, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you
And
for having
if you
me.
ever want to be on again, let me know. Or if your partner wants to be on, talk about sound, they'll love that.
Yeah.
Let me just click one last banner here. Adventurers
Mhm.
want to subscribe today, so subscribe to our channel, like it,
Yeah.
and also find Encores and Ability Scores and follow them and subscribe to them. And one last thing, please go to that podcast like I'm going to do tonight. I'm one episode behind on Alice, so I'm going to listen and I'm going to
Mhm.
leave a comment that's saying this is great. So you can see a
Thank you.
comment left. Leave comments for Sam because she loves to read comments about her
Yes.
podcast, and it makes you feel good and it
Yeah.
motivates you to do more. But I think
Even
I
just
think
a
the
hi,
sound work is
hello.
excellent.
Thank
Just
you.
a hi. Oh no, leave a good comment. Be like,
Yeah.
Alice is awesome, something like that.
Thank you.
Dig in. So, all right. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much,
much.
Sam. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I can't wait. I'm gonna paint more of the minis we got from you guys. I'm very excited.
I I look forward to seeing more, and
Yes.
I will contact you offline to send you the information about the stream, and
Great.
you can post, maybe on a podcast or if you
Would
want to
love
do any
that.
sound clips. Sounds good. All right. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Bye.